What up, it's your boy, Dick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again, and this is 911 Season 5, Episode 5, Review, Peer Pressure, man. And I feel like that title fits perfectly with a lot of the stuff that was going on with this episode, man. Let's talk about it.
Yo, fight until you make it, yo, don't think it, no, just take it. Don't wait for someone to break it, take control, then don't just take it. Hey, you can make it happen, you just gotta take some action. Take the ship and be the captain.
I'm gonna be 100%. This episode was good. I did not expect it to be as good, though. I thought it was going to be like a simple, okay episode, especially after dealing with all of the stuff we dealt with last week with Chimney. I figured we'll just come in this week and be like, oh, okay, well, it was a nice episode. But it was like really, really good. The title fit perfectly, dealing with the overall episode in the cases in particular. The first case with the narcissist, and to be fair, now, I'm sure everybody may not know, but like, they mentioned it in this episode, you know, about Narcissus and the story of Narcissus and like the mirror. Like, yeah, it was funny to have that thrown out there. And the dude that was, you know, trying to work out from the Narcissus machine, you know, him overworking himself and then being trapped on the toilet. That was funny. A little embarrassing, but it was funny. But that was a case of peer pressure. Then the case with the forest ranger guy or whatever they were, I know it had something to do with maintaining and cutting down trees and stuff like that, and shrubbery. I know it had to do like that. I honestly don't remember where they were at or whatever. But anyway, that whole particular case, the case that May ended up taking at the end of the episode, which was very pivotal in to her whole situation with Claudette. And I really feel like this episode really showcased that with the cases and the actual stuff going on with our main characters. But I got to give a huge shout out to May this episode. May stood her ground. Sure, it came after she talked to Harry yet again, because Harry's bringing the wise insight. But after her whole conversation with Harry and talking about it, she realizes that, you know, she can step up and, you know, stop a bully. Don't let her just bully her. But as the episode progresses on and we get to that particular case, we see that everything that Claudette is doing to May is because she recognizes May's talent for being a 911 operator. She sees something in May that could make her be great. She's not great yet, but it could make her be great. And I feel like May stood up for herself, but it also really shined in this episode when she took that 911 call from this chick that was trying to kill herself. May knew that she was in the bathroom, that she was secluded, that she was losing consciousness, her words were slurring. May was on it. Sure, it's something similar to that, you know, what she went through because she tried to commit suicide. So she knew exactly what to say. She knew how to interact with her and knew how to help her. Now, Claudette came over and tried to put her input, and May just stood her ground and shut her down, which I deserves a round of applause, because May has been in that situation. She knows. So she when she relates and says that, you know, I can relate to this and I know where you're coming from, that shut Claudette down, because May actually been in that similar situation, so she can help her. And she was typing at the same time and relaying the messages to the firefighters, to the paramedics, to help her. That's what I'm talking about, May. You stand up to that bully. But then I realized that Claudette is only doing it to help her. But the way about it sucks. But she's trying to help her in the long run. And at the end of the episode, we see May stand up to Claudette. I really enjoyed that. Harry. To be fair, Jeffrey has gotten inside Harry's head. He's also gotten inside of Athena's, because everything that he said, Harry kind of just threw that onto Athena when after he told her about them finding out that he was suspended. And Bobby didn't tell because he thought Harry was going to tell. Harry didn't tell. He ran to May's house. So Bobby had to tell. But after his parents found out, he came out and just lashed out on him, man. He was like, he blamed Michael for not being there watching him to let him just walk out with a killer. And he blamed Athena for being more of a police officer instead of an actual parent. And I knew all of that was just bubbling up inside. Now, the thing with that is, like I said, he should have just came out and said it, but he held it in, and now it's bubbling over. And Michael screamed at him and was like, well, you won't be disrespectful. Now, to be fair, I don't condone hitting children unless it's necessary. But that's just my whole philosophy, man. And them wanting to raise their children different from how they were raised, I could totally get behind that. I didn't get a lot of whoopings. I did if I done something bad, but I didn't like whooping, so I didn't do anything to get spanked or anything like that. I didn't want to be grounded or anything like that. So I didn't do bad things that would allow me to have repercussions. I didn't do any of that, so I don't really get the gist of it. But I know that I would not be yelling and disrespecting my mama, calling her a bad parent. I'm telling you straight up. I didn't like getting hit, and that was grounds to get hit. Sure, Michael feels some type of way and everything, but the I really think Athena didn't really mean for it to come across that way, but it's just those words and the way that Harry said it. It's all very reminiscent of Jeffrey, and she's kind of boiling over as well. So when we see Michael kind of ambush Athena a little bit with Harry's psychiatrist to kind of get Athena help, I didn't agree with it at first, but like when she went home and started talking to Bobby and she was continually talking about Jeffrey, now I'm at the point to where she definitely needs to see somebody, because it's really starting to detour and deter her life a lot, because she's considerably focused on Jeffrey, although he's dead and gone. Like that's her main focus. She's worried about him ruining her life when he can't ruin her life anymore if she puts her foot down and just try to move forward. So Harry's going to have to do that, and Athena's going to have to do it, because right now they're both kind of just wrapped up in this whole Jeffrey wormhole that's kind of consuming their lives. At the end of the episode, we also see that Harry is, for some reason now, he's strangely obsessive with Athena, like, because he was just like, he was engrossed in her photo, like zoomed in. He didn't hear anything Michael was saying. His focus was shifted. He was just solely looking at that picture and just, I don't know whether it was hate, anger, rage, or what, but he was just seething looking at that picture. So now I feel like they're going to do something with Harry being obsessive with Athena now because of the whole Jeffrey situation. And I don't want them to go that way, because that could, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but I'm really not liking that, man. Let's talk about Buck this episode. Buck is going through some stuff, man. To be fair, I understand, because, Buck is one of those people that, he kind of had to please his family growing up. So all of that other type stuff that he tried to do with his family to seek their attention and gain their love and affection, he kind of antiquated that to his real normal life. And now that he's found that with the 118, he doesn't want to lose that. He doesn't want to lose Maddie. He doesn't want to lose Chimney. He doesn't want to lose the firehouse, because that's his family now. And I'm happy that he has Taylor in his life, because Taylor can kind of help him see the broader picture, but she can only do so much, because after everything that she said to him, that gave him a little perspective. But later in the episode, we see that he kind of fell back on everything that Taylor said and just forgotten it, because he was so engrossed with dealing with Ravi, trying to train Ravi, and dealing with everything that's going on with the 118, because everybody seems a little bit discombobulated. They're trying to soldier on and go through it, but like they seem a little bit discombobulated because Chimney's not there. Hen and Chim were the paramedics. They were in sync. So now it's Hen and Eddie trying to be in sync, and they're kind of bumping heads, trying to do the cases this episode. They're not really clicking. But what I love about it is the fact that Buck, at the end of the episode, he really gained some perspective, because, everybody told him, hey man, you're not leaving. We're not letting you leave. We're a family. You're stuck with us. And we told Chimney to leave as well. Like, it's not all on you. We know that in Buck's mentality and mindset, his focus is like that because, like I said, because of his childhood. But now he has some people that genuinely cares about him. So he doesn't have to soldier all of that and carry all of that by himself. So big props to Buck, man. And I love his whole interaction with Ravi this episode. I'm loving that we're seeing more of Ravi, because we know that he's the probie, but because Chimney's gone, they needed someone else to fill on the truck. So it's nice to see Ravi in this light. In the fire case at the retirement home or whatever wouldn't have been solved if it wasn't for Ravi, because the water was making the fire worse. So Ravi came in with the CO2, and that kind of calmed the fire. Let's talk about that retirement case for a moment. Are you kidding me? This old man is out here making meth at a retirement home to buy his wife jewelry and probably pay their expenses at this retirement home. I mean, oh my gosh, man. I just don't see it, man. This old man is making meth out here. It's just was crazy. I mean, like I said, it was a great episode, but I didn't expect it to be as good. And we see that everything is still kind of swinging a little bit, even though Chimney is gone. At the end of the episode, we see that Maddie calls Buck and tells him that, why is Chimney in Utah? Why is he looking for her? Why is he doing all this other stuff? And he was like, well, hey, he figured out what happened with the June on his own, and he just wanted to go search for you. But then we hear bells or some kind of tune or something ringing in the background, and Buck knows where Maddie is. Now, I don't know how they're going to play that out. I don't know if they're going to make her be found already, because it's only been, like 3 episodes that she's been gone. So, I mean, I don't see them just making her be found, like, right off the bat like that. But if they can kind of lead to some clues and everything like that, I'm all for it to see how it pans out for Buck, especially because we know that he's just a little heartbroken over this entire situation. We're not going to have any episodes for 2 weeks. We're going to take a 2-week break, and then we're going to appear again. So I'm totally cool with that, and I'll see you guys again in 2 weeks, man. This is your boy Nick Incredible. Don't forget to smash the like button so you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them, and subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. Peace out.